With all the attention being paid to Specter and Sestak, it's easy to forget there is another Senate primary race.
There sure is. The Republican Senate nomination is between former Congressman Pat Toomey and Peg Luksik.
Pat Toomey greeted supporters in Westchester this week. Polls indicate he is expected to win the Republican Senate primary over opponent Peg Luksik. But this isn't exactly the race Toomey envisioned.
Yeah, I initially thought I was running against Arlen Specter.
It was only 6 years ago that then Congressman Pat Toomey ran against incumbent Senator Specter for the Republican nomination. Toomey nearly beat Specter, losing by only 2% of the vote.
We had a very strong performance today, and I think it sends a strong message.
Specter seemed to get the message. Sensing he wouldn't survive another primary battle, Specter switched parties from Republican to Democrat for the 2010 campaign.
He switched because he thought that was his ticket to getting reelected, and the only thing that really matters to him is his own reelection.
Toomey, out of Congress since 2004, is positioning himself as an anti-Washington candidate.
The biggest issue in this whole election is getting the federal government back on track to live within its means, to end the bailouts of failing companies, encourage job growth in the private sector, and get spending under control.
At a Westchester hotel a few days later, Toomey's challenger, Peg Luksik, greeted a much smaller crowd, 5 people, counting our producer. But Luksik doesn't let small numbers concern her.
Conservatives work, so during the middle of the day it's harder to get them out.
Luksik is pro-life, champions free markets, states' rights, and a strict interpretation of the Constitution. Luksik hopes that those ideals and her grassroots campaign will draw Republicans.
The latest polls show that about 70% of Republican voters are saying that they're still undecided. That's in spite of the fact that Pat has spent about $3 million, has been on every national news media, and is always listed as the presumptive nominee.
Both Toomey and Luksik say the Tea Party movement has galvanized people who never were interested in politics before. Whoever wins the Republican nomination will run against either Democratic Congressman Joe Sestak or incumbent Senator Arlen Specter. Recent polls show Toomey would beat either Democrat and head back to Washington, but it is a long way until November.
And we will have complete coverage of this